Okay, in this lesson, we're going to go over one of my favorite functions in Excel. This one is super useful, and I guarantee each and every one of you will use this function at least once you learn it. But it's one of the key functions that's really useful for pretty much anybody. And it's called the payment function. And what it's going to do is it's going to help us calculate what our payment would be for a house or a car or anything where we have to borrow money and finance it. So let's go ahead and get on our payment function tab, and I'm going to zoom in a little bit because I've just made this formula out here twice. So we see right now for a new house, we put in the price, put in the interest rate, and the term or the number of years, and it will calculate that payment for you. So if I say I can afford $375, and that goes up, oops, $375,000. Let's say the interest rate goes up a little bit. Right now it's $2,129. And it goes up about 50 bucks if we go up a little in the interest rate. And same for the car. We can look here, we've got a term of 5 years. That's how long we're gonna be in the loan for the car. The interest rate is 4.5%, buying a $40,000 car. What if we trimmed it down a little bit? $35,000. Oops. Okay, so now you get the idea. Let's go ahead and build this. And this is kind of compacted, but we're gonna go ahead and build it similarly. So what I'm gonna do first is just copy these cells because I think it really helps to have it colored that way. We'll scroll up and zoom in a little bit. And you'll see why we're doing this, because you have to learn how this function works. So now that we're down here and we've got our grid set up, let's just put in some values here. So for the price, we're gonna say it's 400,000. And the rate, that's the interest rate that we are going to have to borrow the money. Let's say it's 5.5%. And the term, or how long we're gonna borrow for. Well, most of us in home loans speak in terms of years. So let's just put 30 years there, okay? Now, let's go ahead and go over here to this monthly column. I happen to know something about this payment function. And that's that, well, let's go ahead and bring it up. Payment. So what the payment function is expecting is it's expecting values based on whenever you have to pay for the loan. So even though we talk about it in terms of years, it's really monthly. We make a payment every single month. So we have to change those when we do our function from yearly numbers to more monthly. So let's go ahead and close this down now. Hit cancel. And so just to make it, look right, we're just going to copy the price over, equals whatever my price is. And now if the interest rate is 5.5% per year, it's going to be that divided by 12. So we'll just say equals that divided by 12. And what about the term? If we're borrowing for 30 years, it's 30 times 12 months. So equals that times 12. Okay, now we have it how Excel wants to see that in the payment function. So let's go down here and pull up our function wizard again. And now we can do it. Let's go for rate. We're going to click there. It's going to be this monthly rate. Number of periods is going to be 360 months. And then present value, 400,000. And we click OK. And we got our payment now. So I'll tell you a couple things about this. The first one you notice is it's red and it's in parentheses. Well, if you think about it, we're borrowing $400,000 and we have to pay it back. So one of those has to be negative. Now, typically, I like the payment to show as positive. It's easier to talk about. So what you can do is go up here to the monthly number. Instead of just equaling what's in D16, you can say it equals the negative of D16. So that now our price, it looks more like a loan. We're borrowing $400,000 and this is what we have to pay back. Okay? The other thing I want to show you about this, or the other thing I want to tell you about this is this only calculates principal and interest. Most of us, when we buy a house, we put our taxes in a special account and we have insurance all rolled up. That's extra. So your true payment will be more than that, but this is what the payment would be for principal and interest. So this is really neat because we built it out with formulas. Now, whatever we type in here will propagate through and tell us what the payment will be. If the interest rate is 4.5%, it's a lot cheaper. If we go to 20 years, it's more expensive again. So that's it. That's the payment function. It's really, really useful to calculate, payments on houses or cars so you know exactly what you're getting when you go try to finance one of those things. All right, let's get ready for the next lesson.